Hi everyone, this is Igor from hdhead.com. We are revisiting fusion masking in Resolve because there's a lot of confusion out there about how to do this right. And one of my more popular videos is actually partially responsible for that confusion. It was made with one of the early public beta versions of Resolve 15. And at that time, piping alpha channels from Fusion into Resolve's color page wasn't fully worked out. So I just want to show you how to do it. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on passing the alpha channel, passing the masks from Fusion page to the color page. We will not address how to create masks or how to rotoscope in Fusion. So in a nutshell, you can make masks in Resolve's color page to limit certain areas of the screen, but those are very crude. You can make very, very precise and complex articulated mats in Fusion, and that's what we're going after. So we have a shot of a car with a hood opening. I will take that shot into Fusion and just click on the rectangle mask, for example. Get out to the edit page. The clip is pre-multiplied by the mask. What we can do is move it to the track 2 and cut in its own self underneath. So now we have the cutout on top of itself. It's seamless. If we go to the color page, we can color correct the track 2. So this way is similar to what we had seen in that tutorial that I mentioned, but it's not the best way. So I will delete the track 2 clip and show you a better way. Let's go to the Fusion page. And in the Fusion page, instead of applying the mask to the media in input, we'll just draw a mask that's not connected to anything. Let's make this into a single display and zoom in. Make a little more room for our picture, less for the nodes. Let's make a mask of this taillight, starting at frame 1. This tutorial is not really meant to teach you how to rotoscope or cut mats. We're more concerned about showing you how to pipe these alpha channels into Resolve. I can drag this here and see what it looks like. Let's make it a little softer. I'm holding Control key and dragging here to give it just a little bit of softness. That's probably enough. And now let's do another polygon. Polygon 2, let's put it here. Let's do the wheel, but we're not going to spend time isolating all the holes in the rim. I'll just do this thing like that. Okay, let's drag this here. Zoom out until we find it. There it is. Okay, and I will increase the softness a little bit. Now, Control Space, I'll start typing media. And we'll select media out, add it, and I'll go Control C and Control V, do another media out. So we have 3 media outs now. So this is the most important part. We can label these. I'll press F2 and label this, but this is only for our internal purposes. These labels don't really matter. Let's call this beauty. This one will be tail light. And this one will be rim. Okay, we'll connect our taillight polygon to the taillight and rim to rim. We'll zoom out. By pressing 2 on the keyboard, we can send each one of these to our viewer just to verify. So we have the beauty pass, we have the taillight, and we have the rim. Watch these index numbers here, and I'll explain that later. So beauty is 0. Taillight is 1, rim is going to be 2. Okay, let's go to the color page. This change I'm doing is affecting the whole image, but that's not what we want, right? So we'll right click here in the node area and say add source. We'll do it twice. You might have already guessed. So this is our media out 0, media out 1, media out 2. So for example, if you want to do the taillight only, we'll connect this to the alpha input here, and let's change the hue of the taillight. Pretty cool, right? We can add either serial or parallel node. Let's do serial and connect the rim, and that's our back rim. And that's literally all you need to know. The media outs in Fusion are indexed from the smallest number to bigger numbers, and that's how they line up here in the color page. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, there's no way to get those labels here. It would be awesome if they were labeled, or if you could hold an Alt key or something like that to know which one is which. You can't really do that. I'd love to someone correct me if I'm wrong. But what you can do is you can highlight the node and see either the full alpha channel or the cutout. Let's look at a couple of more complex examples. Here we have the isolated hood, the wheels, the body without the taillight and without the rims. We have a little reflection enhancement here, and we have a additional glisten here as the hood is opening. We have the background and we have the sky. So all that put together looks like that versus the original shot. So if we drill down a little deeper, for example, turn the hood reflection, this gives it a little additional shine. You can really, not really relight an object in a 3D sense, but you can do quite a bit to enhance certain things. See the amount of reflection we're pulling out of this side of the car here. The background is punched up. In Fusion, we can see the corresponding media outs. So this is just the picture as is. The hood, the wheels, the body minus the rims and minus the taillight, and the background. And then we have this other example here, which uses this simulated Z depth map. The objects that will be closer to us are brighter than the objects in the distance. So in the color page, you can add source to the simulated depth of field, but we will invert the alpha channel here to make the car sharp and the background blurry. So it kind of looks like a miniature photography, like a tilt and shift lens. But that can be really anything. Like for example, I can decrease the saturation also. You know, you can do that kind of stuff. And the alpha channel that's feeding these media outs can be anything. Can be alpha channel from polygon mask, could be alpha channel from a key, could be alpha channel embedded in EXR renders from a 3D program like Maya. It can really be anything that makes sense for you to use as a mask in the color page of Resolve. Thanks for watching and have a good one until the next tutorial.